Hosting the World Cup sounds like winning the lottery. Millions of visitors arrive, hotels fill up, the host city appears on television around the world. Politicians promise new jobs, better infrastructure, and an economic boom. But there's a catch. The lottery ticket can cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars, and FIFA keeps many of the most valuable prizes. So, when a city wins the right to host the World Cup, what do they actually win? The pitch is incredibly persuasive. Hosting promises tourism, international prestige, new construction, and a lasting football legacy. In 2026, 16 cities across Mexico, Canada, and the United States will host 104 matches, the largest World Cup ever. Supporters need hotel rooms, meals, transportation, and entertainment. Local businesses can make serious money, particularly near stadiums and official fan zones. There are also other benefits that can't be quantified as easily. A successful World Cup can unite communities, introduce children to football, and give a city a rare moment in the global spotlight. But projected economic activity isn't the same thing as profit, and the question cities sometimes avoid is remarkably simple. After every cost is counted, who actually keeps the money? Hosting a match requires far more than opening a stadium. Cities may need additional police officers, emergency services, transportation, temporary facilities, road closures, public viewing areas, and stadium modifications. Canada's federal government alone announced up to 145 million Canadian dollars for World Cup security and public safety. The tournament lasts several weeks, but preparing for it can take years. Meanwhile, FIFA controls many of the largest revenue streams: global sponsorships, broadcasting rights, tickets, licensing, and hospitality. FIFA's projected revenue for the 2026 World Cup is nearly 9 billion US dollars. Host cities can receive tourism and local tax revenue, but they don't automatically receive a meaningful share of FIFA's commercial income. Basically, cities help create the infrastructure, while FIFA just comes along and uses it for profit. Economic impact reports often advertise enormous numbers, but those projections can often count spending without properly considering where the money came from or where it ultimately goes. Imagine a local resident spends $500 attending a match. That money might be presented as World Cup economic activity, but without the tournament, the same person may have spent it at local restaurants, theaters, or shops. The money hasn't necessarily been created, it's just been redirected. Major events can also displace ordinary tourism. Hotels may raise prices, streets become crowded, and travelers who don't care about football choose another destination. Economists call this substitution or crowding out effect. Then there's an opportunity cost. Every dollar spent on temporary security or tournament facilities is a dollar that cannot simultaneously fund housing, schools, public transportation, or other local priorities. The relevant question isn't simply did the World Cup generate money, it's did it generate more value than the alternatives? Supporters of the World Cup often point to job creation, but many World Cup jobs are temporary, seasonal, or concentrated in hospitality and security. When the final ends, the visitors leave, temporary facilities come down, and short term contracts expire. Also, cities can be left maintaining infrastructure built for a few weeks of extraordinary demand for more than a couple years. This risk is greatest when countries construct expensive new stadiums without strong plans for their future use. For example, a packed stadium during the World Cup looks like an investment. The same stadium sitting half empty 5 years later looks like a liability. The true legacy isn't determined during the tournament, it's determined by what remains useful afterward. There's also the issue of fairness. World Cup tickets, travel, and hospitality can be too expensive for many local residents. Someone may help fund the tournament through taxes, yet never afford to enter the stadium. Businesses inside protected commercial zones can benefit, while businesses only a few streets away may receive little or even lose customers because of congestion and security restrictions. The benefits are concentrated, the costs are distributed. That doesn't mean every host city loses, though. Places with existing stadiums, reliable transport, strong tourism, and realistic budgets can gain enormously. But hosting successfully requires more than attracting crowds. It requires negotiating a deal that protects the people who already live there. The dark side of hosting the World Cup isn't the football, it's the imbalance hidden behind it. FIFA receive a global audience and billions in commercial revenue. Hotels, airlines, sponsors, and selected businesses receive a surge in demand, but taxpayers can inherit the security costs, infrastructure bills, and financial risk. For 1 month, the world sees packed stadiums and unforgettable celebrations. The real verdict arrives years later when the cameras are gone and residents discover whether they inherited a genuine legacy or simply helped finance the world's biggest party.